Hello, this is Leo Bray for Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. Visit us on the web at urbanyoga.org or on Facebook at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. Check out the schedule, stop by the tip jar to make those donations to support our online offerings. We'll start today in a reclined posture for gentle yoga. I'm going to go, I think, with this. Soles of the feet planted, knees leaning in towards each other. You could put your feet together and let your knees stick out. And if you do that, you could have props supporting your legs to make it a more passive posture. You can start in any posture you like. How's that? Closing your eyes. If that's comfortable for you, resting your hands on the ground or on your body as you like. Notice your breath, allowing it to slow down and get deeper as you settle into whatever your comfortable starting posture is today. Taking in the movements of your breath and the contact with the ground, whatever else is holding you up there. If you've got props, noticing where you're touching the mat, where you're touching the floor beside the mat. Taking in your environment, what else is going on, whatever sights, sounds, smells, other sensations, air currents. Scan your body, checking for whatever internal stuff is going on. Especially noting anything that you want to keep in mind during practice. If there's any stiffness or soreness in your body, keeping these things in mind as we practice, knowing you can skip or modify whatever you might want to. If you wish to set any intention of your own for this practice, you can do that now. Let's take 3 deep clearing breaths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. You can open your eyes if they're closed and start to move around. Any movements you want. Just taking a minute to come out of stillness in whatever way you like. Moving whatever wants to move. And then let's draw the left knee towards the chest. Extend and lower the right leg. And the left arm out to the side, palm up. Leaving the shoulders on the ground. Draw your leg to the right and turn your head to the left. Not forcing anything. And remember that the closer your knee comes to your torso, the deeper the twist feels. So you can decide how that's going to be. Letting your breath bring you out, even when you're using your arm to move your leg to the opposite side. The more important action is what the breath is doing. Getting into different postures just helps the breath do different things. Come on back to center and switch legs. Extend and lower the left leg. Hug the right knee. Extend the right arm. Draw your knee to the left and turn your head to the right. Come back up to center. Hug both knees. Rock side to side or roll in circles as you like. Whatever movement feels good on your back. And then with your hands on your knees, use your arms to guide your knees in circles in opposite directions. So knees go out apart and then drift back towards each other. But let your arms move your legs. So just letting your legs sort of hang out in the hip sockets, supported and guided by your hands. And then change direction. So still moving each knee in the opposite direction of the other. And then knees in towards your chest. Bring the soles of your feet together. Bring your hands to your shins or your ankles and see, can you bring the soles of your feet to touch? And maybe it's just the inside edge, not like the whole soles, whatever you can manage there. And hold your legs wherever you can. We've got different shaped bodies, different lengths, arms and legs. We're going to play with lowering our feet towards the floor while they're together. You might use a strap for this too. You could wrap the strap over the tops of your feet, like here where my hands are, around the front of the ankles, and you can use your strap instead. Where is my strap? I can demonstrate that better. Instead of pretending I had a strap in my hand, I'll grab my strap. You can have your strap like this, and then lower your feet. That might be more accessible. And maybe your feet actually come down to the floor, maybe not. Mine just did. I don't think I could do that. Yeah, see, if I had my ankles in my hands or my shins, I couldn't put my feet on the floor like that. So the strap can make a big difference. I kind of like the arm and shoulder stretch I get here, though, when I hold onto my legs with my hands. Take your time to very slowly come out of that. Arms helping the legs. When you have your knees splayed out like that, it's important to use your arms to help your legs. There's a lot of stuff going on in the hips there. Let's start to sit up. You can hold your legs and rock forward and back like this, or tip onto one side and press your hands to the floor, however you prefer to sit yourself up. And you could just sit on the floor or sit on your blocks or some other prop as you like. Oh, it's that time of year when I sit out here, the sun hits me right in the face when I sit up. Good thing I had the sunglasses ready. Rest your hands on your knees or your thighs. Inhale to draw your heart forward, let your head go back. Exhale, draw your heart back, let your head tip forward and down. Take a few more rounds of breath like that. Toying with the idea now of going up on that roof before class, and is there something I could put between me and that sun? Not coming up with any bright ideas, unintended. I think anything sturdy enough to stay put in the breeze wouldn't block the sun enough, and anything that would block the sun enough isn't going to stay put up there. Oh, well. After your next exhale, sit up. Reach your arms to the sides and rest your fingertips on the floor. Inhaling, lift your left arm up alongside your head. Exhaling, let your arm drape over your head and just draw your head gently to the left. Let it be mostly about the weight of your arm, not a lot of force. If you want, you can pick up your right hand a little like this and reach out through your fingertips. Let the right hand down if it's raised. Let your neck stay passive. Let your left hand slide across your head and come down to your cheek and nudge your head back to center. Let that hand down. Inhale to raise your right arm up. Exhaling, let the arm drape over. Gently draw your head to the right. And if you want, you can add extending that left arm. Reach out through your fingertips. If your left hand is raised, let it come down, allowing your neck to be relaxed. Let your right hand slide over and down and use that right arm to lift your head. Let that hand down. Now let's walk the left hand behind us. Bring your right hand to your left knee. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, explore twisting some more. Just enough twist. Not necessarily the most you can do. Not about that. What feels like enough? Let that unwind, come through center, and twist the other way. Right hand behind, left hand to right leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist some more. Let that unwind. Let's lift the leg. Just take the one that's in front or shift around if you didn't have one in front of the other. Grab your toes You can interlace your fingers between your toes or just wrap your hand over the tops of your toes. Letting the leg and the foot be passive, letting the hands and the arms do the work. Slowly and gently roll your foot in circles to loosen your ankle. Also doing a little massage of the hand on the foot. Change direction. Hands and feet have lots of small parts, lots of nerve endings in them. Lots of benefits to this little sequence. Stimulating all those nerve endings, moving all those little muscles and bones and tendons and ligaments. Release your toes. Use both arms, both hands to support the weight of your leg. Feel the femur hanging in the hip socket. And rock your leg around in circles. And change direction. And let's let this leg down and lift the other one. Grab your toes. Gently and slowly roll that foot around. And change direction. Release your toes. Again, use both arms, both hands to support the weight of your leg. Make those bigger circles, exploring and opening the hip. And change direction. Let that leg down. Let your arms hang loosely at your sides. And lift your left shoulder up. Slide it back and let it down. And then your right shoulder up, back, down. Let your chin come down towards your chest and start to roll your head slowly in gentle circles. If you find a tight spot, maybe rock back and forth there. Change direction. And when you finish the next circle, lift your chin and face forward. Let's shift up onto our hands and knees. Reach your left foot back, press the ball of your foot against the mat. Ease off that pressure and slide your foot out to the side, maybe in line with your hip over here. It's okay if it doesn't come up that far. Exhale, sit back a little towards your right heel, and inhale, come forward. Pay attention to how this feels on the inner left thigh, that extended leg. It's a good telltale to make sure you don't go too far. So be mindful of that sensation and move as much as you want. And then pause the rocking when you come forward here with the shoulders above the wrist. Walk your hands out like downward facing dog for your upper body. Let your head come down between your arms. Walk your hands over to the right, maybe a foot or so, maybe a little more. And press into your hands. Send your right hip a couple inches towards your right heel. Not a big movement, but it's a pretty complex stretch here. And walk your hands back to center line, and then back in towards your shoulders. Swing your leg back to center line, and bring your knee down. Let's take a few breaths, cow pose and cat pose. After the next exhale, come back to table. Reach back, press into the ball of your right foot for a couple breaths. Relax the pressure a bit and swing that foot out to the side. Maybe it comes up in line with the hip. Starting out small. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, come forward. Again, pay attention to any sensation on the inner thigh on the right. Next time you come forward with shoulders above wrist, stop the rocking there. Walk your hands out. Let your head come down between your arms and scoot your hands over to the left. Then press away from the ground, send your left hip back a little bit. Walk your hands slowly back to center and then back in. Bring your leg back to the mat and bring the knee down and take a few breaths. Cow pose, cat pose. And then make your way to child's pose. Chances are, after that sequence, you might go back a little further, down a little further than usual. It's a nice hip opening action in that preceding sequence. Scan your body, observe your breath. Inhale, come forward and up to table. Roll your toes under. Walk your hands in towards your knees. Come to stand up on your knees. And with your toes tucked under, sit back towards your heels. To whatever height feels okay, this can create a lot of sensation in your feet. You're welcome to put a prop between your butt and the ground, or your butt and your heels, if you don't want to sit so low and you want that support. This feels good to me when I sit down real low. But you just come to the height that works for you. You can change the height anytime you want. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlace your fingers. Reach your palms forward. Raise your hands overhead. Lower down in front. Hands to heart. Up through center. Out and down. We'll do that sequence with our hands and arms 2 more times and then release our feet. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlace maybe the opposite way. Reach your palms forward. Raise your arms. Lower your arms. Hands to heart. Up through center. Out and down. 1 more time. Inhale up. Hands to heart. Interlace. Reach forward. Raise up. Lower down. Hands to heart. Up through center. Out and down. Now the best part, the counter pose. Tip forward onto your hands. Untuck your toes. And bang your feet on the ground. You don't have to do it as fast and hard as I do. Do what feels right for your feet. My feet enjoy a good hard beating here. It's invigorating. Step your left foot up between your hands. You can have blocks under your hands here to make the transition more accessible. Step your right foot up by your left. Hang out in your forward fold, swaying around as much as you want. Explore any movement at all. Bending and straightening legs. Maybe you clasp your hands behind your head and take some neck traction, or clasp your elbows. You can clasp your elbows behind your legs for a deeper hamstring stretch. Lengthening your legs against your arms like that. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, back down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach out to the side. Exhale, reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself, or if you want, you can take eagle arms. If you take eagle arms, then reach forward and up. Inhale, open up. Exhale, cross the other way. Whichever bind you like. Inhale, open up. Exhale, twist to the left. Take a couple breaths. Inhale to face forward. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, out and up. Hook your thumbs together and tug your thumbs away from each other. My hands are off camera. Like this with your hand. Oops. Camera placement. And look up at your thumbs. Lift your heart. So you're pulling your hands away from each other, sort of yanking one thumb into the other hooked thumb. Bring yourself upright. Exhale, bend to the left. Feel the length through both arms. Try to keep the right heel on the ground if it starts to lift. Inhale up to center. Exhale, bend to the right. Inhale to come up. Exhale, arms down. I need a drink. Take a drink whenever you need one. It's getting hot out here. Inhale out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale down. Step back to plank. On an exhale, slowly lower all the way down. And press into your hands. Inhale, lift your head and chest as high as you want, respecting whatever your lower back tells you. Exhale, rock back and up to down dog. Pedal your feet up and down. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, and stop. Just one more. Inhale up. Exhale, down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down. Step back to plank. On an exhale, lower halfway or all the way, your choice. Inhale to bring your heart forward. Exhale to rock back and up. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And we'll play with some balancing. Play with tree pose. Some variation. Hands on the hips. So we explored some of this the other day. Something I picked up taking someone else's class. I'm gonna play a little more today instead of my usual default sequence for tree. Shift the weight into your right leg. And if you want, lift your left foot just a little. And if you want, reach it out to the side, play some more. So whatever degree of that you want to try. And of course, you're always welcome to be over by the wall or your desk or something to reach out to for support. And then see how much control you can exert to come back upright. Then lift the left knee as high as you can. Bring it out to the side. And without using your hands to guide your foot, bring your foot to the other leg. Then if you like your foot higher than that on the thigh instead of the calf, then you can use your hand to help. You can keep your hands on your hips, bring them to your heart, or do anything else you want. Maybe just explore, what do your arms and shoulders want here? Maybe it's a bind. Maybe it's movement. Maybe you want to play at being more still. You can start over anytime, many times as you want. And to come out, you can bring your hands back to your hips or to your heart if you'd prefer. Pivot your knee forward and let your foot down. Shake that right leg and shake anything else you want to shake. And when you're ready, hands back to your heart. No, see, falling into my default script. I'm not even doing what I'm saying. Hands on your hips. Wow, there's a lot of deep repetition there. Shift the weight to your left leg. You got to laugh at yourself. Lift your right foot a little. And if you want, play with reaching it out more, like a tipping, side bend, funny kind of balance here. Just playing, exploring, something different. And see how slowly you can come upright and take your time to raise that right knee as high as you can. Bring it out to the side. And without using your hands to help, bring your foot to your left leg. Then if you want, use your hand to bring the foot higher. And do whatever you want with your arms and your hands. plant grabbing my arm as I started to come into the bind. I don't want to hurt the plant. Pretty sturdy one there. Our landlady is quite the plant lover, as you can tell by this little slice of jungle that I'm standing in front of. When we give directions to the house, we tell them it's the orange one on the left with lots of plants. From the block before you get here, you can see all these plants all over the place. Bring your hands to your hips or your heart. Pivot your knee forward. Let your foot down. Shake as needed. And then we get to sit down. Extend your legs forward. Flex your feet back. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Allow your knees to bend if they want to. Inhale, think of coming forward. Exhale, think of lowering down. Inhaling, walk your hands up to front of your legs and sit up. Bring the soles of your feet together, leaving a big space between your heels and your pelvis. Then reach over your ankles or under your ankles and walk your hands forward on the mat for our pretzel fold. Let your neck relax and breathe into your back. You can let your arms and your hands relax, so you can keep active traction and keep reaching forward, keep engaged. Inhaling slowly, walk your hands back and lift your torso. Keep your feet together, bring them in closer to your pelvis. Interlace your fingers, hold your toes between your hands, and then wriggle on your seat. Bring the bones in the seat closer to the floor to shift. Tilt your pelvis forward. Open the front of your hips. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, keeping your spine long. Just see how far that might go. Sometimes we think of bending from the waist. There's really no hinge in your waist if you look at a human skeleton. There's no hinge there. The hinge is the hip. When the long spine's not lowering anymore, let your spine round, let your head hang, breathe into your hips. Inhale, slowly sit up. And remember, let the arms lift the knees towards each other, plant your feet. Bring your hands behind you and gently lower down onto your back. Heels in close to your butt. Setting up for bridge. If you want, you can put a block between your knees on the middle position. Press into your feet. Inhale, lift your hips. If you want a deeper heart opener, you can clasp your hands under you, reach your knuckles towards your heels, and wriggle your shoulder blades towards each other. If you're clasping your hands, release them. Exhale slowly, let your hips down. Explore floating up and down for a few rounds of breath at your own pace. And then let's take a supported bridge, pausing with the hips lifted. Put a block or other prop of your choice at the base of your spine and come down to rest on it. Think of sending your breath there, like you're breathing through that block. Press in your feet. Excuse me. Press into your feet. On an inhale, lift your hips. Remove the prop that was holding you up. As you exhale, slowly lower down. And let's move those props out of the way. Hug your knees to your chest and rock and roll, massage your back against the floor. And let's just take a real simple, gentle twist. Reach your arms out to the sides, palms up. The closer your knees are to your chest, the deeper the twist feels. So you decide how deep you want that to be. Let your legs go to the right, turn your head to the left, letting your shoulders stay grounded. Take your time to bring your head and your knees back up through center. Just let the movement continue to carry you into the other twist. Come back up to center. Reach your feet towards the sky. Reach your hands up to hold your legs or your feet in whatever way you like. Play with bending and straightening your arms and legs. Or inverting in whatever way you want to, if there's some inversion you would prefer to doing Happy Baby. Whenever you feel complete and with your inverting, make your way to your final resting pose. Maybe there's some other pose or movement you want to do on your way there. Feel free. As you settle into your comfortable stillness, whatever posture that might be for you. Closing your eyes if you like. Focusing on your breath. Or reflecting on an intention you carried through practice. Or just letting your mind wander. Start taking some deeper breaths and moving around bit by bit. Slowly working up to bigger and bigger movements. Take your time. Take your time when you're ready to gently sit up. And maybe you need a drink on the way up too, like I do. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you for sharing in practice today. The light within me sees and bows to that same light within you. Namaste. Great to see you all. Thanks for coming.